As I mentioned previously, today we are going to talk about staying on code, all right? The Ubuntu Code of Unity. Today we are going to talk about the Ubuntu Code of Unity, aka or also known as Ubuntu. So, first part, we will cover the different aspects of the Ubuntu Code of Unity in different settings. So this will be part one of this lesson. I basically kind of summarize it in a few key points, and I will be bringing, everyday's life application of it. So this would be part one. And now in part two on Patreon, we will discuss the curses and the blessings that we get. That would be a huge insight for people who didn't know how our spirituality works, and the consequences tied to the way we handle one another, and the consequences tied to the people who mishandle us. Remember, we are God's people. What is the Ubuntu Code of Unity? The Ubuntu Code of Unity is what we also call the Ubuntu, is that philosophy that makes us understand that we are part of the same oneness as the Creator, that we are all different expressions of the Creator on earth, that we are one with the Creator and His entire creation. So we covered that, worshiping foreign gods, connecting to foreign egregores is what our elders deem to be satanic. The Ubuntu, in order for us to practice the Ubuntu philosophy, we are gonna have to connect with one another. Okay, we did a connection with the ancestors. Okay, we are now in good standing with the ancestors. We did our mea culpa. So now we are going to work on connecting with one another, because if we have to start seeing each other as one, as member of the same oneness as the Creator, what does it mean? It means that we could no longer entertain quarrels, jealousy, hatred, public beefing, and all that murky, dirty stuff that our people just love to indulge with. Okay? It means that. So going back to our source, going back to Tatanzambe, the God of our ancestors, it means that we're going to go back to the way He meant for us to be on earth. He said that we have to stand as one. As a queen is a mother to her people. Okay, that's why no matter how much our people get on my nerve, no matter how many stab wounds I have, I'm not born or built biologically or spiritually to turn my back on them. Never. My family was chosen to provide and protect them. It's a disposition that I wouldn't have. So with that in mind, but I want our people to know that the years I've been living in America, in those years, who are the people who came for me? My own people in America. I suffered in the hands of our people on every level. Any level you try to associate with our people is a chaos. Professionally, I be sitting on millions of dollars. Hadn't I hired one of you? Anytime somebody, you gave an opportunity, or you even sometimes bended the rules to accommodate them, these are the ones that come for you. Since I've been living in this country, I can't say that a white person has dragged me to court over nonsense, over just flat out lies, because they're trying to get what's mine. I can't sit here and lie. No, matter of crowns are matter of God, matter of the divine, matter of purity. We don't do that lying thing. That's for the politician. Yeah, they did a lot of dirt, but I can't sit here and lie and say that in this day and age they are my main concern. No, they're not even a concern to me. The first time I was called the N word, it was by one of us here. You know, the first time I was, you know, just robbed of everything, it was by our people here. When you hear people say that, oh, they throw on our children's face, you self-hate, because they know the programming they done on you. They know that the things that they made you believe and that you really believe and take for truth, you express them in so many ways. The cruelty with which you treat your own people. And this is for our people, whether on the continent or in the diaspora. We're very cruel when it comes to one another. We judge one another severely, and we forgive everybody else that has ever you know, hurt us in some form of shape. When it comes to other people, oh yeah, we're very forgiving. We quick to shuffle it under the rug and act like no, because we are so broken. We were programmed to distrust one another, you know, and trust our masters and see them as God. These are the reality we have to admit. Sometimes you would see our sons, especially our sons, many of them think they carry around that slave complex. Many of them think that is their job to make sure that their former masters' offspring are okay in the streets and in their surroundings. If they dare tumble, you're going to see 10 rushing to lift them up. I'm not against people being kind and helpful. But my thing, when I see such thing, I want to know where that comes from. Does it come from being a gentleman and just being brought up that way? Would you have sprung with the same impulse had it been our daughter on the floor? Would you have that same reflex, or is from a past programming that our mere existence was to cater to them and attend to them and cry when they cry and so on? So we have to go back in our programming as to understanding why we do to each other the things we do. Because right now, we know right from wrong. At least I hope many of us do. When I talk about us becoming spiritual people instead of religion, because we know what religion was used for, to divide people. When we spiritual, spirituality brings us together, because it brings us to what one creative source from which all lives came from. It would lead us back, you know, to that higher power. That's why spirituality was discouraged and replaced with religion. So you have to understand that it is important to function in a healthy way in this world as it is set up right now. We have to become spiritual people, my dear children, because we cannot just continue going with that programming the former masters had put on us. You know, they started by judging us, by making us a color. You know, many of you that are now going around, I'm black, and they say it proudly. Oh, some of our stupid children out there, they will blow your mind. I'm black, I'm not African. I'm like, oh, black is such a downgrade. African, at least it tie you to somewhere, a land, okay? It tie you to a culture, to a tribe, to a father, to a mother, to a strong history. It tie you to something. I'm black. It's like talking about a tree without a root. Let our lousy children out there and those who have answer to everything, tell me, my beautiful ones, with your lousy mouth, can a tree survive without a root? So you have to understand why they're feeding you lies as to your indigenous of this place, so that you disengage from Africa. But a tree without a root is not a tree. I'm sorry. A tree without a root is just a trunk. And from a trunk, I can make a door, I can make a table, I can make whatever I want. I think my children understand me very well. Okay? Don't let anybody downgrade you to a male color. Okay? Stop that nonsense. You are African and be proud to be one. Okay? A1, African first. Okay, in a previous video we covered that whatever we got from Tata Nzambe, our creator, we got it through a delegatory type of process from our ancestors through us. Okay, so what does it mean? In order for us to be a dignified and honorable son or daughter of Africa, we have to abide to this code of unity. It means that we can't sell out when it comes to our spirituality. We have to be one with the true God of our ancestor, whom we know to be Nzambe. We have to be one with our ancestors. We have to be one with our parents. I know that in some cases, some of us come from very toxic families. I know that some of our children, they suffered the worst in the hands of the very same people who were supposed to love them. But my children, I want you to understand that slavery and colonization made of us what we're getting today. Dysfunctional, group of people. So I'm asking each one of you out there, especially those who have suffered the worst in the hands of their family members. I'm asking you, my dear children, take the time to process that pain. It may be the type of pain that you're not able to process on your own. Give it to Tata Nzambe, the God of our ancestors. Put it at his feet. Ask him to carry that burden for you. Because as long as you carry that resentment, because when an injustice has been done on somebody and justice is still not found, the person carries that weight, the person carries that resentment, that anger, because the person hasn't come to closure with what happened to them. We cannot sit and wait, just like we can't sit and wait on the Caucasians to come and tell us, oh, we're sorry for, destroying your kingdoms. We're sorry for murdering your forefathers. We're sorry for enslaving your children. We're sorry for continuing, stealing your resources. Of course, they're not going to do that. So it doesn't mean that we have to sit on the, on the sideline waiting patiently for them to do that. No, we have to rise from that, dust, and then dust off, clean up, start walking, and eventually run again. So it's on us. So we cannot always wait for the people who have harmed us to do the right thing in order for us to find closure. What I want you to know, you survived it because you're a strong person and you have a very important mission on earth. See, the people from the darkness, what do? They track amazing souls, powerful souls from day one, from birth. Why do you think, so many of our kids sometimes are born with the umbilical cord around their necks? Our elders tells us that it's a very powerful, soul coming through, and they started fighting him before even, coming on earth. So you have to understand that as long as we have toxic people around us, the devil and his agents will find vessels, okay, to use to carry out their activities. For those of you who are in Christianity, it says in the Holy Book that we're not wrestling with people, with flesh and blood. No, we're wrestling with principalities, spirits. So that's why it's important that we go back on code. All right? So we have to be one with our Creator, we have to be one with our ancestors, and we have to be one with our parents. Find a place in your heart to forgive your parents so that spiritually you will be free, because we are mandated to honor them. Tata Nzambe, the Creator, he didn't tell us just honor the good ones. So as us, the children, we have a part to play. You know, we can withdraw for our safety depending on the risk level around them, but we should never, you know, actively be out there trying to harm them or trying to get even or anything like that. We have to take our burden and surrender it at the feet of our Creator. He's the healer of the healers. Okay, my children. So oneness with our Creator, oneness with our ancestors, oneness with our parents, oneness with each other. Okay, so I won't go down the list of the things we don't do. We clearly not on code. And of course, our children can always misbehave or act in a way which is not pleasant to most people. But until we truly teach you the little that we know, the little that our elders also taught us back at home, you know, we won't see a change. So at least you would have, you know, something like a foundation. So today I will especially focus on my tribe, the Fang people. Okay, so I will share with you instances on what, you know, the training, that training is made of, you know, from a young age. You know, they teach us that your brother is just not your brother. You know, from a young age they teach us that per us the Bantu people, okay, your brother, we call him Mwanana or Mwatata. You know, that word is very profound. That word is very deep because literally translated, it means my father's child or my mother's child. So what does it mean? You have a relationship with such individual. You have a force, you know. Let's say you guys are brothers and then you say, okay, I just can't get along with this particular brother or this particular sister. I'm just going to stay as far away from him or from her. But nevertheless, outside the walls of your parents' compound, you still have an obligation. Vice versa. You have a mutual obligation, a mutual relationship that you have to maintain, that you have to preserve. Is the relationship that links you to your parents. Because Mwanana, my mother's child, what does it mean? As much as I hate my brother right now, but as much as I hate my brother right now, or as much as I hate my sister right now, but if I cause her harm or I hurt her in a way that she doesn't come home, the woman I call my mother gonna throw herself to the ground, gonna cry in a very unconsolable way. And what am I gonna do? Do I want to see that woman like that? Hell no. So it's a very profound word. That's what our elders tells us, because no matter how you dislike your brother or no matter what you dislike your sister, the last thing you want to do is come back home and your mother is like, where's your brother? Where's your sister? You know what our parents tells us when we go and play with our siblings? They tell the oldest, do not dare return with one of them missing. So whatever you're out there doing and you know you have your little ones, you keep an eye on them at all time, because your mother or your father has already told you that basically go on your own if you lose one of them. So you see, there's a mutual responsibility we have to one another to treat each other with respect, if it's not for each other, for one another, but for the parents, the people we come from. Okay, that's what our elders teach us. We can cry all day, you know, this and that. We are oppressed, we are oppressed. But as you know me, I'm the anti-fragility queen. You know, queens don't go around telling lies. We leave the lies to the politician. So we have to give you the truth and nothing but the truth, you know. So as far as whatever I see, is that, you know, we are the ones holding our own self back because we are in denial of the traumas we're suffering from. We are in denial of the fact that many of our children fell in the hands of the worst savages who conquered us and have become them. I know it's very hard to accept and to admit that we have become these people who have hurt us so much, and these people we resent so much, right? It's a very hard pill to swallow. I get that, but we have to come to look at ourselves in the mirror. So you have to understand that many of us are very dysfunctional. We are economically at the bottom of the barrel because we were programmed to mistrust one another and trust the masters, not support one another but support the masters. So when I let one of you in my company, what do? You come and tear it up. You come and start a revolt among my employees. You come and badmouth me about my, around my customer. You are programmed to do these things to other blacks. Okay, so these are the issues we need to address. So in order for us to be able to start healing, because only when we heal, we can observe this code of unity. How do we go by doing that? We have to first heal from the lies of the past, heal from the scars of the past. Look at us as these strong, resilient survivors of the world's worst history. Okay, we are smart, we're intelligent. Now we are moving from being these religious people who were completely brainwashed to gradually moving back to the source of our people, the creator of the universe, Tatanzambe. So we becoming spiritual. I encourage people to become more and more spiritual, because when you're a spiritual person, you're not a paranoid person. You don't go around judging the books by the cover because you know better. You know that when it comes to human beings, it's really the spirit that animates that body. That's why it is important you lock eyes with people. When you're spiritual, you can tell what you're dealing with, an angel or a demon. You can tell, okay? So I encourage people, because the state we're in, we're very dysfunctional, we're very broken. So we end up being the same people hurting our own the most on our day-to-day life. Okay, if I acquire a property or a successful business, I don't have to worry about the white people coming to try to bring it down. I don't have to worry about the Mexican to try to infiltrate, to come to bring it down. But I have to worry about my own people I let in. They will be the one daring to go there. See, this is what we need to address. The reason why many of us want to cling to the lies of the past so they could justify expressing hatred toward a group of people. The Africans sold us, so we're going to hate Africans. But what happens when you don't have an African around you? You're going to express that hatred to your blood brother right there next to it. That's why hatred is a seed. Us, God's people, must uproot from our garden. Okay? No matter what we went through, we have to let it go. I'm sitting before you today teaching and encouraging because of who I am. I was born in a crown. My family was chosen to guide, provide, and protect our people. So there's a crown in my family. There's a covenant of a crown of which I'm the custodian of this generation. So it comes like a duty, but to me it's not a duty. No matter what I went through in the hands of our stupid ones over here in America, our hateful ones, hateful ones of us, there's no drop of blood in me that could lead me to hate my people, to try to get even with them. Okay? I don't have that biological composition in me. Okay? I love my people, good, bad, broken or not. We are survivors. I still pick any of you any day. So let's jump right into it.
your church.